Welcome to episode 128 of the High Volume Hiring Podcast. I am one of your two co-hosts, Stephen Rothberg, with College Recruiter job search site, and very envious of the office in which our guest is located today. But we'll get to that in a few minutes. Jeanette Leeds, our
Hi.
COO. Good to see you.
Hi, good to see you too, and excited for today's podcast because we have David Noe. He is an HR and brand advocacy manager, if you don't know him, for payroll partners. And also, if you don't know his podcast, Speakeasy HR Podcast. So, David, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is great.
Awesome. I love it. So, for those of our listeners who are like, who's David? Like, give us a little bit more background, and then we'll get into like today's topic of what's working in
Yeah.
recruiting in this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been around HR for about 20 years, been in a lot of industries, company sizes. Recruiting's been a focus throughout. So I've been in a lot of different workplace cultures, environments, business owners, leaders, managers, and it just has gotten me to the point where I now work for a company that offers great software, and we get to work with businesses of all shapes and sizes. And they all have challenges just like everybody else. So we just try to help navigate their pain points with software and help it get better for them and have great systems and technology. So started Speakeasy HR 2 years ago. I'm in Kentucky where they make 95% of the world's bourbon, as you can see in the background. And
Love
so
the background.
very, very
It's
motivated.
not a fake background for anyone who's watching a video. It's like
No,
real. It's real.
no, no, it is real. The one back there is from the Prohibition. The middle one's from my wedding a few years ago. We did a distillery. And third one is 1980 Wild Tea. That's all gone, but it was amazing. I have still a little bit of it left, but so yeah, I brought kind of the blend of a speakeasy bourbon vibe with business and HR topics into a live podcast that I do on Mondays with LinkedIn, and I'm at episode 80 next 2 weeks from now. So
Ooh,
it's almost an every
catching
week.
up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, and I have fun toys. I got fun toys like this.
You do. You do. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
And for the listeners who don't know, just as a bit of an aside, I think something like 80 or 90% of podcasts do not make it to the sixth episode. So you approaching 80, us at 128, we beat you.
You did.
Catching up.
It's either like a mark of like real accomplishment or complete insanity, or both.
On that note,
So we wanted to talk about sort of with you what you think is working in recruiting in 2026. And what I thought would make sense, Payroll Partners does a lot of work, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, with a lot of small, medium-sized businesses. Some of those are hiring at scale. They might be going from 20 to 40 people in a year, 200 people opening up a new warehouse. We got to hire 75 people in the next 4 months. And some, of course, the people that in our audience, they might work for an organization with 80,000 people that hire like 5,000 people a year. So there's a lot of different strokes. But why don't we start off by, maybe give us like one of the things that you've been thinking of that it's like, this is really working well.
Yeah. So I send everybody a magic wand in the mail,
I love this.
and I just tell them to hit the button as many times as they need to hire somebody and see if it
Love
works.
it. Love
Um,
it.
no, totally joking. I
Okay, Harry Potter.
yeah, that was a guest on my podcast sent that to me in the mail.
I'm
So
obsessed.
fun guest gift. So what I've seen work for businesses, and I don't get a chance to talk to a lot of our clients, but we're in a lot of different industries. We're in a lot of different environments. And so I think the high turnover, situations, it's really a matter of the experience for the applicant to be a smooth one. And when I say that, it's how fast can you go in and apply for a job? And if it's a teenager applying to work at a pool or an amusement park or a restaurant, and they may not be completely tech savvy to go into a HR technology platform and build a profile and upload their resume, how easy is it for them to apply for a job with the basics that that person needs to submit? And we see that on our end because we're the ones building that for the company. And I have heard firsthand that when people are seasonally hiring, let's say for the summer, and they need to hire 20, 30 plus people to work at swimming pools or country clubs. It's a lot of administration work when you're just rehiring people.
Yeah.
So it makes it a lot easier when that experience is painless, I guess, or less pain than having to go into a system and stumble through it. And sometimes you may not ever even know if you applied successfully. So we look at it from the employee or the applicant experience and make sure that that is really smooth for that person, no matter their age.
Yeah, I love that, and as, a mother of a teenager who literally was applying to lifeguard jobs, like, so what advice, like, again, what advice would you give job seekers or my son? Like, sorry, Will. He's like, "Mom, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
"Do not watch this one."
It's not on Snap, so he won't see it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. If he's applying for jobs like a lifeguard job, how is he standing out amongst the crowd, right? Like, does he want to get the job? If he wants the job, does he know someone that works there? Is he going to get a recommendation to the hiring manager? So like, while I know a lot of the teenagers are on social media, it depends on how that company maybe searches that person's social media. Like, what are they posting? What are they commenting about? And it's just like it's out there for the public to see sometimes. So, I have teenagers of my own, and they're not fully working yet. One started his own pressure washing business, and he's very motivated, which is fun to
Nice.
see, right?
Yeah,
I have very clean garbage cans because he cleans them. Great,
that's awesome.
great. So, I think beyond that, have you heard of a marketing plan for a job seeker
I
and what that
have.
looks like?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I get people all the time that reach out to me on LinkedIn. Hey, I might be looking for a new job. I'd like to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, well, send me your resume. And half the time I look through it and I have about 10 questions. And this marketing plan really will help answer all those questions usually. What company sizes, what industries, what work environment, what job titles are you looking for? What is your top 50 companies you want to potentially work for? That way I can know if I know people at those companies or know, well, hiring, we have 2,000 clients. We might have a client that needs someone in accounting or HR, right? So for someone like your son, I mean, just how can they stand out amongst the crowd? That's really the biggest question.
Taking it from the employer perspective, a lot of the people that you're talking to from your clients are going to be similar to a lot of the people that at College Recruiter we do, right? It's talent acquisition, it's HR people. And for years and years, hardly anything changed.
Right.
Now what seems to be changing is almost entirely tech.
Mhm.
And as an industry, we're doing a really good job of scaling problems.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you can think of that, say, a year ago was a real challenge for employers that's becoming a lot easier now?
I mean, I think yes, I think companies are realizing how they're going to integrate AI into some of their processes and procedures for recruiting and job boards and how to filter through people's resumes. I still think there's a big problem with that. I know people apply for 1,000 jobs and they never even get a call back, so they're getting ghosted. Shout out to Mark Lane podcast, Ghosted by the Machine. So I think there's still some of that uncertainty and how people can stand out when they're applying for jobs, and I think the hiring manager in HR has such a not really a problem, but they're trying to navigate through all of this too. So like they're really trying to figure out like what were they doing a year ago without maybe so much AI, and now they're trying to implement it into the process. I know there are companies out there that will do the entire recruiting process for you. They'll interview, they'll schedule interviews. Just think about how long it takes. Well, I do our recruiting. I know how long it takes to email an applicant. Hey, Joe, I want to connect with you and have a phone call. And then I have a good phone call with them. Hey, Joe, I want you to come in for a second interview. Here's our talent assessment to take. And, let's connect in person. So, like, I really think people that are also bringing people back into the office, they're having to change that conversation, right? With those applicants up front. Like, hey, is this a deal breaker? Are you looking for remote work? Because we're not offering that anymore.
Mhm.
And I get people that ask us that right off the rip. Hey, are you offering you know, work from home, fully remote? And we aren't hiring people from all over the country. We're hiring people locally. So there's still a lot of that companies are having to like really decide how they're going to handle that.
I think, Jeanette, that he just declined my application,
Ugh.
if I'm reading between the lines accurately
You,
there.
you want to work from home, Steven?
I need to. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go and make a okay. So
Kyle
I'm like
Carrier, what do you got?
okay, so I'm just looking at the time. So like thinking around that, I'm again like so much change in the past year, right? Like between working remotely, there's the back to work, the AI, things are just really changing from the candidate perspective, but also to your point on the employers. Like any like I don't know, any fun stories? I love stories. Any like stories you can think of like that would just be really interesting. We're like, oh, like one company did this and this was an amazing because of due to all this change and they had a great outcome. Or the opposite, like what's a worse story where you're like, okay, do not as an employer do this because this blew up. Right? Like maybe it's the opposite of what's working. What there's something that's not working, like your employer stop doing this.
And for the bad things, we need names, phone numbers.
Yeah, I had one story that comes to mind. I was in an interview with my boss, our COO. She used to work for another payroll company, and she told me about this situation with this applicant. And I thought it was so comical. I didn't believe it was true. So sure enough, this person comes into our office, and my boss goes, "You've applied here before, haven't you?" Because she tried to bring her to where we currently both work. She's like, "No, I don't think I've applied here before. I haven't met you." And so she goes back to her office. She texts some of her friends that used to work together. She's like, "Was this the person that told me she got in a car accident, but she was down the hall working? So she like lied why she couldn't make it to the interview with us back when she wanted to hire her like years ago." And they said, "Yeah, that's her." And I'm like, of course, I find a good applicant who my boss knew from this bad experience. And I'm like, can't give, like, what's to give? I found a really good applicant. She was good on paper. She was good over the phone. And then my boss had this horrible experience, how she lied about not being able to go to a job interview. And she said she was in a car accident or something, but she was like down the hall working or something. I don't know. It's like, oh my gosh. So
That's
hard.
wild.
It's hard.
So I assume you didn't hire her.
No, no, no. I didn't want to do that. There's been others like that too, man. Like I tell you, it's like, we trust our people when we hire and they work out. And if it aligns where like they worked at the company that I'm interviewing somebody, I'm like, hey, did you work with Sally when she was at this company? Like, what was your experience like? And if they're like, I will not be here if you hire that person, right? Like they are pretty
Yeah.
vocal about it.
Yeah.
So like we do take that into consideration, but it's great when like we get somebody that applies and they do their research and they're like, "Hey, I saw your Google reviews. I know so and so. I was a referral." And it works out that way, but it's still hard to find people that are local, that want to work in our work environment, that want to be doing what we do. So it's not like we're hiring a customer service representative entry level where you get 1,000 people applying,
Right.
you know, hard to fill jobs.
Yeah. Well, what I'm hearing is like as much as the world has changed, we look at 2026 versus last year, certainly versus 2 years ago, so much AI and automation, there's still this human element that overlays all of this because we're talking about people and jobs, right? So whether, the past comes back to haunt you. So it's like just think about how all of that. But there is a human element that is just always going to be there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, for
Yep,
sure.
absolutely. I was at last night we had a Disrupt HR event, if you've heard of Disrupt.
Yes, I've spoken at those too.
Yeah,
They're
I had
intense.
Jennifer McClure's from Cincinnati. I'm on her planning team for her Cincinnati event, and we had one here in Kentucky, just south of Cincinnati, and it was awesome. Just the energy of the people there, and the you know it was great. And so a lot of it was just about how to be a human, how to be a leader, how to show empathy, and truly care about people, and just it was very inspiring in some of the ways that people are just burned out in HR right now. Like 30% of people are leaving the industry, and I know why. Like I see it, I feel it.
Gotta just keep on going and try and make it sustainable as possible.
Hopefully, what is working is that those of us who remain are kinder and gentler, to each other,
I like that.
because it has been a rough few years, and it's not like the end of the difficult times or tomorrow, but hopefully, if, well before this time next year, um, hopefully things will have turned around and we can all, like, be excited to go to work every day and be placing candidates, and maybe the problem for most employers will get back to being, "We have too many opportunities,
Mm,
not too many applicants."
love it.
So
And for the record, I love going to work every day. I'm like, "Had to do it."
the 3 of us and those in the audience, we need to remember every day we are in an incredibly honorable profession. We help people make a living,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, nothing better. There really
nothing
isn't,
nothing
so,
better.
yeah.
Yeah. David,
Awesome.
thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much.
much.
Jinx.
This
Wave
has
that keep
been
on waving that magic wand.
this has been
Thank you
awesome.
so
Yeah,
much.
and just go
Appreciate it.
find you a magic wand
I'm
and
gonna
see if it'll help you with your recruiting efforts because
love it, love it. Good stuff. Alright, take care, everyone.
See you on Mondays for Speakeasy HR.